Always a blast watching that clip.
That edit is even better because it almost feels like. Because first it's that hot-ass Ares play where he ults Janus portal through the wall. And it's almost like Fish and Theo are the ones that got hit by the, like, damn, bro. Like, that was...
And it's right when the music drops. It's a little silent. Everyone pays attention to what's happening. Well, we've got Splyce SK coming up. And you know what? If our first games are any indicators, usually that means if it's a 3-0 sweep, there is a 2-hour set about to come up. I have no idea. But just in case...
This could be that.
I have decided to bring... a snack on broadcast so that I am not hungry. If there is a potential 2-hour break.
Well, you probably told them to get their chips and stuff.
I said, go get your chips.
You probably told them.
My snack of choice right now. I'm going to leave that there in our casting chair as we get ready to get going for Splyce SK. Nick, you know, just to recap on that G2 Esports and Envy thing, that was pretty amazing how well we called what was going to happen in those early
That was
drafts.
funny, yeah. I saw the Drogos come through, and I thought about you saying call their bluff, and I was like, you really got to call a bluff on Jaguar Falls? And then I put in the post-game thing, I'm like, has Drogos ever lost a game on Jaguar Falls? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
At this point.
That's a really good question. We should have a stat guy.
Hell of a bluff to call.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I think at this point, though, suit looks very nice, Nick. I just, staring on the screen.
Oh, thanks.
Really nice suit. Inara and Khan here banned out. Rubu, really the best Khan I've seen in a long time. And I think Androxus and Makoa here for Splyce banned out as well. This is going to give Drogos to SK. What do you make of it? Serpent Beach.
Andro's banned, so that's an even stronger pick for them. Serpent Beach doesn't dominate. Doesn't quite dominate any map like he does on Jag Falls.
Right.
But just one last kind of closing thought on that G2 set. I almost brought up the 3 front lines. I was wondering if they were going to try and do any of that. And Bodies would be their 3rd frontline guy, but I don't think he's ever played anything outside of, like, Ruckus.
That's what I think they should have grabbed. I mean, again, I think there was a chance when in Game 2 they could have grabbed the Ruckus and they chose Fernando, and that was what Cuss was playing. But I just feel like that's such a better pickup with a 3rd front line because it's, like, not really a front line, but it is.
Yeah.
It just gives you so much wiggle room. And SK here, I wonder if they'll try that. I mean, they're set up. No, not really, now that they're going for the Kinessa. So this is Vocal and Payan getting what they want. Bitey back on Ying.
Yeah, Vocal. Man, he's kind of like the last guy still doing that. I remember right when reposition Kinessa was huge, I played against Invocal's reposition Kinessa on Serpent Beach too, which is kind of funny that they're playing this map now. Actually 5 times one day, and I was like, I hate this.
It's the worst, right?
I want to stop.
It's the worst.
Yes.
You're just like, I shouldn't be in games with you, man.
I saw you tweet at Rebu, stop duo queuing with Kaliku.
I'm like, y'all shouldn't be in games together. Not in my game. I can't be the guy. I'm in high elo hell.
Who do you think I am, matchmaker?
Yeah.
Who am I?
See, here's the thing. I'm going to go on my little rant here. If I was good enough to carry a game by myself against those guys, I wouldn't mind it. Because, they go 30-5. I go 30-5. We might have it. But I am a 10-10 guy when I'm in those games, baby. And, if I got to play you 5 times in a row and you just whooping all my other teammates and I'm, kind of getting a kill, kind of dying, I'm like, this is the worst time ever. So, anyways, I'm in high elo hell where I get thrown into. I'm the guy they don't have another cuss cutie, so they throw me and 2 other guys like me in there. They're like, let's see if you can do it.
I feel that hard.
Have fun, buddy.
I feel that hard.
LeBron James and 4 other dudes.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Well, I got to be J.R. Smith.
Damn it. Well.
All right.
To some. Here we go, guys.
I'm somebody's Carrie.
Somebody's J.R. Smith. Hey, that's better than...
No, I'm somebody's LeBron James, baby.
Okay.
Maybe not everybody's, but somebody's.
Late night onslaught, I am LeBron James. That's what I played about 4 hours of last night.
Oh, my God.
I don't think I lost a game.
Yo, give me that onslaught map you like was in Primal Court. Give me Catalyst Pip, and I got plays for days, baby. No one can touch me.
SK Splyce, baby. Drogos around the corner, man. No one else can do it like him. Payan narrowly misses that first blood, but SK Gaming off to a hell of a lead here, 90% to nothing before a kill even happens, and there it is. Payan drops the hammer on G-Bunny. Fire Spits are still landing. He's trying to be his own setup, his own follow-through. SK Gaming off to a blazing start here on Serpent Beach.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Hi, Nabil.
High Res Nabil wants to guest cast, and he walks out as he walks in. Just the kind of crazy things that'll happen in Studio 5. You never know.
We're the first faces everyone sees coming through that door.
That's true.
I often feel like a bit of a goldfish in a bowl here.
I often do as well. People come in, they look at us, smile, they bend down, they like change their body length to see us. It's always an interesting thing. It makes you look like an animal. Like you can't quite see the jaguar, so you're kind of like shifting to try and
trying to get
them.
an angle on the exhibit.
Add some bushes in here, and we are actually in a zoo that we don't know we're in.
Oh, man.
This is a casting zoo. I figured it out.
Dr. Todd Harris's greatest scheme.
Dr. Todd Harris.
Here in Studio 5 is my greatest accomplishment.
This is all an experiment. Oh, man. Well, I hope he wins a Nobel Prize at this point because he has fooled me. I will tell you that. SK Gaming 1-0. Can they battle this Splyce roster? It seems like Serpent Beach, this is where people get caught up a lot. And I can see it. I can see it happening here. Big headshot, but he doesn't hit two. And because of the emitter, you know, Vayne able to make it out alive.
Survive. Actually has an angle to play. Oh, he doesn't have his thrust cooldown. I was going to say, Payan could do like that Diggy Dog route where you go kind of like around the side and get involved here. Now just trying to lay into Vayne. Drogos versus Ruckus early game. Ruckus, one of the harder 1v1s to actually crack. Cassie pushing the issue, and Shadow will come out on top. He now gets the drop onto Bitey as well.
Yeah, good stuff for him. Wi-Fi slays Shadow, but it's a little late. Him and Throne are going to back off. Good barricade as well. Healing Station means he'll have a little bit of sustain, and that's a good shield from the Throner. Saves a life.
Couldn't have finished that off, G-Bunny. 16 HP.
Saves a life.
I ain't about it.
I ain't about that Berk.
Rejuvenate already for Wi-Fi, I noticed.
Good start for front lines. Big fan of that.
Big fan. I didn't know. Was there, in that last game, that Ice Mines game, did they build a bunch of Rejuvenate on those three front lines and just try and...
I actually don't know.
That felt very like throw in the towel-y to me.
It did. I felt like my thought is they know they're not coming back and winning 3 in a row. Because that's just, I mean, they're an even set, if anything, right? Maybe it depends on the day, but 3 in a row, that's, I don't even know if that's going to happen. But I felt like they were just like, let's try triple tank and like see if this is real, you know? Test for land, because it's Envy. It's like, it's a good team. You can actually see what works,
Yeah,
right?
they're just playing for seeding.
Yeah.
They're both, their tickets are punched.
Just a couple drafting things. That's always for me when G2 have the veteran and they actually get people in the draft, I feel like they have the skill to beat everybody. Like, they can run through anyone.
Yeah.
SK and Splyce, however, I don't know if I feel that way right now.
We'll see who they can run through.
Can they even run through each other? Really?
Not really. 1-1 here.
You know, I think they've accepted that too, Nick. I think it's interesting. As we see a Dread Serpent here, a lot of action, so we'll catch up with our thoughts in a little bit. But sprays aplenty. I would like to see less sprays, more plays here. And Vayne, he makes it. No spray involved. Maldamba healing him up as well. Did it really?
That felt personal.
Solo ult?
I don't know.
You mad at that?
Not really. I don't know. Better than my X-Fire, that's for sure. Vayne picks one up before going down to Throner and Bitey. The lowest DPS members of SK finding the frags.
Now, let me tell you, Bitey yesterday, or 2 days ago, tweeted that he was really happy that he made that switch. And I think we had been talking about it, the community's talked about it. Bitey's so flexible, but maybe flexes to a fault. And I think he feels that he's really given his team room to grow and learn now. Being on this support, he said, makes him have a lot of fun, making calls from the backside, being able to direct, and also just everyone else can worry about what they're doing too.
You got to imagine that's just a good fit for him, man, because he was such a loud communicator for SK. And having to be tunneled on people in front line, you only really get to see what's in front of you. You can get flanked rather easily. Maybe the right fit for the coach.
I mean, think about this too. If Vocal has to question whether he's going to flex onto like Genos, or if he's going to play Kinessa this game, or Bomb King, right? If like Bitey's going to be like, hey, I'm going to play Bomb King this game, and Vocal's got to be like, well, now I'm flexing. That makes it so he's not as, he can't just practice Bomb King and just be confident in doing that. He can't just go, he can't just do his thing, or Payan, vice versa. And so I think this just opens up and gives a lot of clarity to the rest of the roster, too, who are operating around the flexibility of Bitey all the time.
Certainly. Now, from the corner, Splyce and the rest of the gang look to hold on here. High ground is theirs, but honestly, you'd think Drogos might be looking to take control of this. Struggling now, the front line, pushing him out yet again. Good body block here onto the Throner. Cooldowns are not in favor of the young Cassie, though. She will grab the kill before that man is allowed to jump off the map and reset of his own free will.
The curse of Splyce. They call it here as the defense passes about the first minute and now heads into the last minute and 30 seconds. Getting close, but not finishing it off. Vayne was talking about how his team is just always just the best losers. Always second place. But in the case of the PPL, I guess fifth. And he wants to change that, but he wants to change that at land. What does this set mean? Probably a lot of practice for both teams, but still want to do their best here as the Throner knocks his head up and down and goes through the assert dominance.
Stun's going to land, and that actually causes the Throner to take a ton of damage. Manages to stay alive for the time being, though, skirting out.
Amazing.
Kills coming through for SK Gaming. 3 for 1 in this engagement. Gord goes down, but Aspect he's all alone.
They didn't even know where he was.
It's kind of a weird spot for a support to get caught in, but everyone sort of died around him before he could do anything about it.
And look at that consistent damage, man. Talk about a threat. I think if G2 had that in that Jaguar Falls game, boy, oh boy, it would have been a different story. Couldn't have been so easy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad he didn't hit it, because that would have been the lowest value Dragon Punch I think we've ever seen. Damage ticking away on Combustible. Ricotta makes it back with about a sliver of health, and so does Invocal, and then returns. Excuse me, so does Pain, and returns with a salvo. Invocal with the kill. SK, are they really 2 points ahead?
They're doing it, baby. 3-1 lead here. Looking good, feeling good. 5-1. Dethroner, the best DPS player in North America.
Honestly, he's been playing well today. I like min-maxing moments nicely.
Big fragger here. Vocal, though, will claim the mantle of top damage, beating out even his Drogos, even his Sweet Payin. Shadow not far behind, and Barrick above Leon, and not too far off the rest of the pack here. Only about 10,000 damage behind the leader, so Wi-Fi, despite being the point man today, has really been finding a way to connect shots.
I think Wi-Fi is one of those players that has been around to be considered a veteran, but has yet to step into that kind of mystique of a veteran to where you know he's winning every duel. You know he'll come out of it. You don't have to worry about him. He's been relatively quiet for somebody who's been so...
Was he on any of the Sweden teams? From way back?
Not way back. He still has a little bit of time where he's not, but I mean, he's close. He's a new age
first
veteran.
Iteration.
Yeah, he's
Eager,
a first
though.
generation, yeah, definitely. But I think, you know...
Team Eager, dude.
Hey, man.
Shout outs to Team Eager from way back in the day.
There's been a lot of iterations of this team. And it has not really resulted in a lot of success, albeit that one split where SK just were off to the races. And G2 were nowhere to be seen. Wi-Fi here, waiting for that barricade. It finally comes up. You know, he was just praying that Vayne didn't have another rocket before that time, and now he's able to bowling ball, get those healings. It's the deployable nightmare, and SK happy to have it. Look at the damage, and Vogel must have hit a headshot or something.
He's finding some big shots for sure. Plenty of headhunters. Has to pop emitter just to clear the gap. Throw the pressure mine, get it.
It's on cooldown.
Oh, you hate to see it.
You do, man. He has a
PPL
Hexafire.
pressure mine kills.
Yeah, I mean, this Hexafire can make a big difference here, Nick. 75% counting. I like Splyce right now, though. The way that they are being patient, they know it's got to be 99. There's no problem. Hexafire has been used. Here it is. What's it going to get? Oh, and Vogel's just watching him, and I've stepped on my Cheez-Its. Oh, no. 99% for SK Gaming. I think they're going to grab it. A spray here from Invocal might seal the deal.
I mean, he's kind of been left alone here. There's very little pressure put on Invocal that game, and it is reflected in the damage charts. Rarely, I think, will anyone really beat Drogos on the damage charts, but Invocal does it fairly handily that game.
That was impressive. I like that from SK. I think the Throner looked good. I liked Invocal on the Connect. One of the only sniper players that I actually enjoy and I think was okay picking up a sniper.
I think he just likes it, man. I mean, this is almost like Akate levels of like, Akate and Alex, like, I just want to play this character.
But he
you know
does
what I mean?
well, you know?
There's not exactly like a matchup that I look at on Splyce and say, oh yeah, they need Kinessa just to dumpster this pick in particular. And I think he did pretty good against Ruckus finding those headshots, but outside of that, nothing really kind of jumps out at me. But you're right, he does well. I think he's just comfortable.
And that's the right thing for you. Havens, I like that into the matchup, and here are those big moments. That's where snipers, you have to hit that shot, otherwise you're not having an impact on these point fights, you're just poking out. But good timed headhunters and Also, great headshots, too, in a matter of about 6 seconds or so, so that was incredible.
He's got a shot, man. I think we've always known that about Invocal, though. It's just a matter of getting him to the spot to pull the trigger. Now, that does it for game 1, though. This is best of 5. SK have a couple more. And Frog Isle, they could just run the Kinessa back here. I think really Splyce has to make the major adjustment to get them uncomfortable at this point.
And major bans, we see the sniper bans. We saw that, I think, in the G2 set. And I think it was G2 who banned most of those snipers. And so now it's Splyce. It was whoever's on this side.
You're right.
I think it was G2. Drogo's banned from SK. They do not want to let that go.
I remember that was a little weird for that game. I don't know, because I think it was Envy that banned them out, and then they ran Burst Mode Victor.
They did. They did.
It was, especially with Rocco on your team. He played some stuff today.
He did.
Not exactly standard Rock.
He did a good job with that Victor, though. And
certainly, yeah.
And I think they just were comfortable enough for that. Was really it, because I remember a pick going to G2 and then me saying they're comfortable enough not to take. I think it was Leon, and say that we will be confident to take this Victor instead. That was the only other hit scan threat to deal with the Willow, and it worked out in their favor. Right now, Splyce are the ones who have Big Daddy Khan, and we saw that really work out. And with Inara, there's absolutely no way she is getting back on the map if she gets thrown off.
I like this front line at the moment for Splyce, but with Ash banned out, I actually think that even bodes even better for them, right? They get the throner off of it. See what else he can be comfortable with. Maybe a Barrack in the future of SK Gaming, and an Eevee for Splyce. So they're looking to draft some pressure and not leave this Kinessa alone this game.
You think it's Storvald here for SK? They gonna take him?
Probably not.
I like it. I like the Ruckus here. I think there are a lot of champions that can benefit from this Torvald. And Torvald actually has a really good ultimate here, but again, super susceptible, super immobile against some mobility, definitely on the side of Splyce. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you got, Nick?
I think I like SK here again. Just because I think Invocal, because he's so comfortable on Kinessa, he's going to move well on this map. He's going to stay involved in these fights. And he's also not too afraid to take fights that are very up close. He's not going to be uncomfortable with an Eevee blinking in his face. He'll probably, honestly, be able to hit those shots.
Well, let's see if that does come to fruition here. As you can see, I had to move my chips to actually sit down. Cheez-Its. I guess you can't call them chips. Crackers. Quackers.
Crackajack.
And Dethroner on the Ruckus. That is a almost a first here, I think, in the PPL. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is.
A lot of firsts for Dethroner here in his debut split.
He wants this win, man.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Let the battle begin.
Well, I don't. I personally have no, you know.
I don't have a dog in this race.
I don't have a dog in this race, but I'd like to see someone win. I will say that.
I can almost guarantee you'll see someone win. Almost.
You never know.
Some of these sets, it feels like no one won.
No one won there. No one won in that game. And I think Splyce are well aware of the gauntlet that they went on with Renegades just a week ago.
Just one of those shots, man. You can see Ricardo full health to dead, and he didn't react because God knows he didn't have time to. Looking for the shots now, and
so confident.
Under pressure. That's the difference this time around. Doesn't get killed. Shadow is definitely hanging around on the CV.
And you know what? SK are having that problem where they just haven't touched the point. And it's such a weird problem to have, right? It's such an odd one where...
Especially with Inara.
You just figure, why? It's exactly, especially with Inara. But they've got the big game Cassie, and I think that's Ricotta doing his homework and actually executing it well come test day. And I think that means that Wi-Fi scared off or just got bursted down too fast to really have any pressure on the point.
How does this... Honestly, man. Splyce's ultimates are a little on the weak side, so I'm just trying to think about how this fight changes next round when ultimates are available. Shadow's getting one shot, unless he buys Haven, he's gonna get one shot body shot by any type of ultimate coming out of coming from his vocal.
Yep.
There's tons of CC. Splyce don't have a great way to take this Fae Flight out of the sky unless it's Ricotta just dialing it in, which could happen.
It could happen.
Could absolutely happen.
But you're right.
I don't know. the suite of ultimates from SK look like they are ready to win this fight next round.
Listen, we all know what a good Eevee can do. If Shadow overperforms, they can win this game, and that will be the only factor that matters. We all know what a good Eevee can do on Frog Isle. We've seen Fasheko do it many times, and we've seen this chick be a nuisance, to say the least, to any of the damage dealers and even some of the front lines. But right now, G-Bunny's also contributing, and that just means SK have not found their footing whatsoever. Everyone is kind of dialed in, as you mentioned, Nick. Someone needs to dial them out.
But
what a weird game.
What a weird game indeed. I was actually looking up at the ultimate charts, getting ready to talk about those, how those might be a factor to the fight that we would eventually see in the first round to prevent a conversion. But seeing as how none of that actually happened, we'll talk about it now. There's a Ying ult, Fernando ult, as well as Eevee. Big overpower used up there down the stretch. Hexafire looks like it was used as well. I didn't even hear that go off.
15 seconds.
But sometimes that's just the way of Spectator. And only 3 kills that entire round for SK Gaming. Very different foot here put forward by Splyce.
5.
They make the big adjustments though in the draft. They ban out Ash, right? That's not exactly standard practice. Like, they're playing this set. They're drafting for this set for these games.
And this is the stuff they need to learn. One of the things that stuck with me that Vane said in one of my interviews today, you guys will see more of next week, was just that you have to take L's in order to know how to get your W's. That's essentially the message that he feels Splyce wants to communicate about their losses and what they have resulted in. Here it is. Ricotta is going to dial in Pan. Oh, he hits one shot, but it's not enough. And Vocal, as he's looking up, hits him down low, and Vocal again with a double kill, man. This guy, give him Kinessa, and he's going to improve.
That's what I'm talking. That's the focus right there. He is just being blasted in the face with a flamethrower, and he keeps cool, hits the headshot, and Vocal looking very, very good. And to quote the late, great Rabies, he always used to talk about how when you had to look up at something, how easy it was to forget about everything else happening around you. And that's essentially what happened to Ricotta there with the Fae Flight.
And this is Mr. Young Hot Talent, if you guys ever wanted to know where that came from.
What a perfect way to end that, yeah.
And you could see why that became a thing that was referenced time and time and time again.
I love it.
A lot of comfortability on this Kinessa.
Certainly. Here comes Shadow, though. Ice Storm, not to great success. He gets obliterated. That's just the way of Eevee, though.
That's just the way it is.
No one to help it out. Now it's SK's turn to move this one through relatively easy so far.
SK game in hand. I mean, this is pushing it to 2-0. If they're able to secure this.
An enemy is unstoppable.
That wall just a little bit off the mark there, but
Almost locksmith.
putting it down in Vocal. That's 2. Lines him up, knocks him down. Those were both headshots, I think, as well. Just the health bar I just saw disappear. Make it 3 for Mr. What's his name? Jaden, right?
Jaden.
Big
Jaden
J.
Smith.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He is Will Smith's son. You guys didn't know, but we have Will's. I'm just kidding. But he has the exact same name as the Jaden Smith you might recognize as being Will Smith's son.
Killing spree.
The thrown or 2 down the stretch. Man, SK Gaming just as easily as Splyce did unto them, they do unto Splyce. 2. And that's essentially a 6-minute game on Frog Isle, except it's going either way. It's one team gets conversion, then the other. Very rarely will you see that happen.
Yeah.
2 teams just owning each other back and forth.
You save that for the real showstoppers there sometimes. You know, everybody's got a threat.
Point spawning in 15
Hobby,
seconds.
Fnatic. That's always who I think of who tend to do that to each other. NIP Fnatic back in the day. Remember when Navi was like a 3rd-ish seed?
Oh, yeah.
What a time.
4, 3,
They were habitually
2,
third. They were third
1.
place in everything from basically when they formed, like when they were like WSD Sports. When
Mudastina.
I think it was Kamaker instead of Phoenix on that squad.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was the same.
3% on the objective, 6% respectively for Splyce. G-Bunny and Vane started off strong, though. And I believe we're getting even more history given to us. The Interlopers
I remember that name, but I don't remember having them attached to it.
sounds like a crime novel or something. James Patterson, my right.
Oh, very forward Immortal here to try and keep the zone alive. Vayne gets the shield up, but not much longer will he survive. Now Illusory Rift has popped as Splyce are trying with everything that they are just to hold this one. And that disengage may have just sealed the deal. Willow's able to get back down onto the objective to keep it alive here. Rukata dancing around this tree, gets a heal, doing good damage all the while. Dear God, Rukata manages to weather the storm and pull a couple of people in with him.
Slicing them up like cheese. Ricotta with big game has the afforded time to miss about 3 shots and still get every single shot that lands full bonus damage. That 6-second period of debuff on big game. That's a big game changer, if you ask me.
And now we'll have to see if the trend just continues here. Will Splyce just roll this one through in about a 3-minute round? Hello. Can't dial it in. Some people can do it, but that's a tall ask for sure. That was a very, very small target, very, very far away. And Willow just needs to kind of hit you to do damage.
Yep, definitely true. And it's still a great opportunity for Splyce to tie this one up. And if they do, I'm going to wait one more game. But I think it's going to be Cheez-It time. Because I could see this going the distance. I could see this going the distance.
Crack open the Cheez-Its,
I'm going to need somebody to make a Starbucks run.
It's getting real.
It's getting real. And I like that Leon skin. Goddess Leon, Pan. However, though, in trouble. G-Bunny spots him out. No body blocks in sight. Throner worried about the right side himself, so doesn't have the time or the ability to take any extra bullets. Good burst there on the Shadow. Really good Dread Serpent, but that's a big utility used. And now big game has been applied. You can see with the knockback, he's going to have to find a way around it because Ricotta has been absolutely devastating to these front lines over the last minute.
Vocal finds a way to take down the support as well. Rockets miss. Ricotta strafing in and out with this 1v1 onto Throner. That's it for this fight, but for this round, certainly not. 45 seconds on the clock here. For Splyce to find a way back in. And it's going to start with an overpower onto Wi-Fi. Once the heals comes through onto this con, they will breach the front. G-Bunny finds yet another kill just like that.
They're giving up a lot of space, man. A lot of space. I think that's going to be it, Nick.
Crack open the Cheez-Its, Evan. We're going to 5.
We're going to 5. Not while I'm live. Not while I'm live. But you know what? There's nothing better than seeing a contested set between two teams who want it. And you know what? Maybe that contest, I think so, will continue a little longer. Oh, Nick, they fool us both. Is this SK sending it to another round?
Jinkies. It looks like it just might be. Wi-Fi buying plenty of time at this point. And in Vocal, he'll only miss for so long. Dials it in, drives him home. JK Lamau going to a round 4.
Well, you know, it was a good showcase of the 2 damage dealers and what happens when they're able to pop off. And Kinessa's on defense really, really shine. That's really what makes it so hard to navigate around a sniper when those long lines of sight are in their favor. But as you can see, it's a battle of the damage.
G-Bunny, 11 and 4. Okay. Couple of last hits for sure. He's not very high on the damage charts. A couple of overpowers off the map certainly helps pad the old Statarinos. But so far, so good. And part of this is maybe because this is a fully committed, aggressive composition from Splyce. They got the Eevee out there. They got Fernando Khan out there. They're all getting healed by Ying from down back at the point with the global ultimate. He's not out there on an island. He's very seldom caught out all alone like I think a lot of cons would be in other types of comps.
G-Bunny yet to even use the battle shout, which tells you how he feels about everything happening now. Dread Serpent, but it doesn't get much. Maybe just buys to Throner some time, but Shadow's still there, and he's got the wormhole. He might be able to blink up and over, and I think that is going to secure to Throner's kill. Shadow finds one, and now it's a 5v4. G-Bunny looks keen to take down the Sonara.
42% capture away for Splyce. Shadow looking to Blink over the wall here. Only a couple ultimates left in the tank for Splyce, but big ones. The overpower if used properly here. I'd like to see Fernando and Khan switch places.
Oh boy.
So G-Bunny can try and grab that more guaranteed kill. Ice Storm deep in the back line, into the ice block, out of the ice block, up in the air, back out of the air. Shadow all over the map.
Nice.
And stays alive to boot.
And that's Splyce. Looking nice, taking this game on Frog Isle, tying it up 1-1 versus SK Gaming. And this song is the song that I think should not be here. Because you can't say anything serious when this song comes on. You have to do this. It should be at a...
Right as like 9 people walk by in the hallway.
You know,
we on our BS.
Really amazing. They turned it up for us, but you know, you could leave it up because I just want to show how distracting it is as a musical accompaniment to any serious tone that we want to take. So if you want the silliness to continue, listen to this synth. This is Six Flags.
Yeah, that old bald man.
Yeah.
What's his dance?
Look, put the camera on me. This is what this is. Come on, how can you not? This is Six Flags. What? You know what? Listen. Let's look at these post-game stats.
Break it down. Oh.
You know what though? It's this song.
Oh, poor Joe.
And I'm gonna say it till it stops coming on. And I'm gonna find out who plays it. It's gonna get real.
It's just, you know.
Now we're going.
It's on the internet.
This song.
If you want something to not happen anymore,
Or me.
you can't say, stop this! Or the internet's just gonna go, oh yeah?
Oh yeah? You know what though? I enjoy it. Maybe it'll be a meme.
Stop this? This is what you didn't want? Oh, okay. You know what? I misunderstood. I thought you said plenty more of that. Turn it up to 11.
Turn it up to 11. I thought that's what you meant. Not turn it off. Oops.
See, I really want to know John Finch's commentary on just the silent TV of this feed.
That's what I'm saying. I always think about what are the casters who are just watching us
in the green room.
in the green room.
We're shoveling or dancing.
What do they think is happening?
Oh, man.
I have no idea, personally.
And it's completely our feed is silent.
It is silent.
They're
That's
watching
amazing.
Smite patch notes. We're doing whatever it is that you could call this that's happening in front of you right now.
It's casting, Nick. It's
It
top
is.
tier.
Did you see me and Gore's
High
Vivian
level.
casting earlier?
No.
Oh,
Was it good?
it is. It'll
gonna-
probably be on the meme video.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let.
See, sometimes you guys don't realize we have to have a meme video for esports videos. So sometimes
We have a quota
It is our
of
job.
dumb stuff.
We have to do a certain amount of dumb stuff. You're just like, why are they doing that, dude? It's because we know we have to give Joe some content.
It's like, cops gotta write their quota.
They gotta get their
traffic
parking tickets. Come on, we've been there.
We gotta shmeme out every once in a while.
Meme out, man. What's a meme
Friday.
video without memes?
Just a video.
What's a Splyce SK matchup without 5 games? Can you feel me?
Not yet, but I think I'm getting there.
I just want to know, do you miss me at all, Nick? I mean, do you think about the things that we used to do? I wasn't even on that first set with you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I still do think about it. I mean, why didn't you call?
Well, I mean, so many years have gone by, And
I still think about you all the time. Don't laugh. It's look like you changed it at all. Why didn't you call? Chat?
there was something in the air. Something was in the air, and there's always something
There
in the air
certainly
with
was.
you. I don't know what you're wearing.
It's Gucci.
And it's inexplicable.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I can feel it in the air when I'm with you.
Yeah. That's just what you're going to get here on PPL Fridays. I thought that was going to be a meme poll for sure. But guys, cast your votes. Cast your votes. Here's the draft. Drogos, Barrick, Ashley On, Ying versus Nando, Cassie, Willow, Damba, and Torvald.
Yeah,
And
should we stop?
Torvald.
Okay, be serious. Okay. They told us to be silly for that entire time, so we're just doing what production told us to do. If you don't like it, blame production.
There's Dr. Todd Allen Harris there.
In the experiment, what happens? No, you see, this is what happens when we put them in this box
2 casters
for this long.
A set that doesn't mean anything. 2 queens already qualified. Bottom seeds guaranteed. What will they do?
We found that the percentage of silliness arises by 0.29%.
To over 9,000.
To over 9,000%.
I like that very stuffy Professor McGonagall.
We have
found. What are we doing with these cheeses here?
Dude, I'm not going to eat them because I can't
What's the
eat them
scoop?
because Brad will get mad at me.
Well, that was a grape, all right?
So it begins.
I can't believe I got crap for eating a grape.
Fast times at Ridgemont High. Exaction Cassie taken here as well on Splyce. Give me some exaction action.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I mean, I could see if you have the range to basically make use of it here, get in and out of the lines of sight. I think exaction can work, and it's really up to a flavor of the player. Ricardo, though, after such a successful kind of like big game performance, surprised that he doesn't go for it here. Maybe deterred by the low health of the Barrack, but Pan and Vocal not deterred whatsoever. They want revenge, and they find 2 kills here to start out this game. Splyce down on the back foot, and with a zone this good, surely SK should capture objective 1.
It ain't Kinessa, but it's still point and click for Invocal, and SK Gaming, aside from Invocal's pick, get the exact same draft that they win with in game 1. So they're back to their comfort zones. I think maybe Splyce forgot or thought that they had a new trick up the sleeve here. But it is almost 100-0 uncontested, and Invocal's pulling
Snappy.
1080s.
Absolutely.
Flick of a wrist.
Very snappy. I guess that's it's got to be high sensitivity, otherwise
It's just a young wrist right there.
his arm broke. Yeah. Otherwise, send the emergency vehicles to Invocal's house right now.
His desk surface is actually like an omnidirectional treadmill, and he can, with his mind, command it to just move in a direction.
He's already got the Ready Player One technology. He's just body, like you playing Paladins with your body. You're just doing all the actions yourself. Wouldn't that be cool? God, Cassie would be exhausting.
I don't think these gamers would be very good.
They're not those kind of gamers. They're the real gamers, bro.
You need that guy that won like the Wii Arms.
I know, that guy.
Nintendo Switch arm tournament.
Buff as heck, dude. Wins the boxing competition. Makes sense.
Theo back on the main roster for Fnatic.
Fnatic announces their Nintendo Arms venture. All right. Ooh. Nice shoulder bash there to Throner. Goes through the shield. Comes out with a kill. SK Gaming now trying to push this one.
That's
Nice
gotta
bubble,
be
though.
top. Make a video, top 5 most satisfying ways to get a kill in Paladins.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Thanks.
Shoulder bash has got to be on that
Shoulder
list.
bash, yeah, that's a good one. You're right. The wind up, the anticipation, the juiciness, yeah. Name another thing you'd include. Oh, through time and space. That's probably got to be. That's up there for me. I love a through time and space.
A juicy Fernando fireball feels pretty good.
That feels good too. Like the 3rd or 4th guy. Ooh, yeah. Enlightenment. That's a good one.
Enlightenment feels good. The Defiant Fist feels pretty good.
Ooh, okay.
That ain't a bad one.
Hyper beams. Those are fun too. Those are pretty satisfying. Good hyper beam. There's a lot. There's a lot. That'd be a fun list. I'm sure a lot of people have different varied ideas as well.
5,
Maybe, Nick. Maybe you'll see it come to life.
1.
If I
That's
get
content.
If I get old enough, you know, run out of ideas.
When you're world weary enough.
No, I'm kidding. That's a good one. Overtime here. And I don't know if this salvo is ever going to really find value. It's in an interesting spot. He tried to go left side, but now he's going to come right over the top. And that is going to just be a little bit more, I guess, obtuse of an angle, which could be prevented by this Fernando shield. Ricotta, though, getting close to death of Torvald's shield and the Fernando Immortal. The only thing keeping him from back to base. And now is going to dodge roll into the thick of things to avoid damage behind him. But look at this Wi-Fi 7 streak. We talked about him being a veteran. He's certainly playing like one.
Man.
SK Gaming right back with a haymaker towards Splyce.
They got to get these kills pretty soon, though. Torvald might be able to solve this one out. He starts to recharge, but they have enough damage just to blow right through it. I don't know why Rukata drops in that situation, though. There must have been a kill off screen that he was
reacting
trying to snuff out. And what's good about this is just the range that it's at. It's not at the tip to where you feel like Ashe would be losing natural momentum anyway and wouldn't be hitting as hard. It's not one of those awkward barrel stuff shoulder bash kills. That's just a solid halfway down the driving range, full force shoulder strike.
Yep.
For 800 glorious damage in a kill.
800 glorious damage. Reminds me of the guy, the way I was speaking reminds me of the guy who's the narrator and the scientist in Maniac. Pretty good show. Watching that on Netflix right now. But, of course, you have to make sure to keep your TV shows varied, ladies and gentlemen. Like your champion selections. You can't get too stale.
Don't one trick.
Don't one trick. Have a couple of options depending on the feeling. Exactly. And the Throner now looking to maybe get that damage off. He knows it's not going to result in a kill. Smart move. Good finish off onto Shadow by Invocal, but G Bunny responds. He's gotten into the back line, and that's all he's needed. Now Rukata is let loose. And boy, oh boy, Cassie with a Torvald bubble. That's an animal, let me tell you. Ooh.
He gets her down, too. I want to look at this loadout, actually, though, for the big exaction Cassie. Just incitement, baby. He's incited, but he's not excited.
He's incited, but not excited. Not a lot of people are excited when you're running incitement, because it's a really weird card that reduces the cooldown of your dodge roll every time you hit a disengage. But it can be a full reset, but you kind of don't really need it. But it could be nice. I really like it for big game, to be honest, because it gives you a little bit more of that mobility, even though you're sacrificing that for the extra disengage damage. But we haven't seen a lot of players put that combo together yet in this PPL. 2 minutes left. Both these teams slugging out at each other. Splyce, they're looking to take control of this game after SK grabbed the first point and was able to push 2-0. But this is not a confirmed push yet for Splyce, but Rukata making it happen. That's
just Torvald there. I mean, Rukata literally just ignores Ashe in front of him, and he's doing it again. He's just solely focused on who he's focused on. The Torvald bubble, it's kind of a cool little relationship with Exaction, because instead of Cassie having to roll around entirely of her own volition, there is that second of vulnerability, and Torvald just kind of covers that up.
Whew. That's nasty, man.
I still want Roll Cassie to come back, I think.
You know, I played it last night. I didn't have as much success as I would have wanted. But I do like that it's like on Bright Marsh, you can see the value. And I think the reason is you get your bonus damage all the time. There's less cooldowns between your bonus damage. That is one of the benefits of Exaction. You know, whereas big game and Impulse have these cooldowns you're working around with Disengage and Blast Shot. This is really very, very low bonus damage cooldown. And with Torvald, too, it's the mobility, then it's the safety, then it's the damage. I mean, you start adding it up, and Cassie is just pretty unstoppable here.
Yeah, I know why it was removed. I mean, but like the places that like Lex can be at now in terms of just zipping around a map, Andro with all the resetting he can do now and the distance he can cover, Koga the distance he can kind of cover just at base. I would prefer that Roll Cassie be in the game and just like tune down the damage, tune down the lifesteal, whatever it is, just to like let me roll around a bunch as long as I continue to hit my shots.
Let me make this argument, and I don't know if you think it's true. I think it's true that if Lex was as popular as Cassie and Lex movement speed, I think Lex movement speed and Cassie, let me preface it, is just as frustrating. You're right. I think they both are the same thing. When you're getting killed by a Lex doing all the movement speed stuff, you're just as annoyed and it's just as frustrating as the Cassie. But Lex is so non-existent in PPL, and Cassie's so common in all levels of play that it was more of a thing getting addressed now. It's like if Skye became a big issue, right? Maybe she'd see something. But she's not, so whatever she's got, they kind of leave it.
100%. I mean, there's characters that aren't played that have these, like, asinine things in their loadout cards sometimes. You're just like, how has this been allowed to survive for so long? No one's doing it. No one's playing with it. That's what's cool about
That's what's kind of fun about it,
like
right?
If you are gonna dive deep in these loadout cards and figure stuff out, you could, take advantage of some incredibly strong combination that you just put the work in to find before everyone else did.
I feel like I know a lot of people have been really even just I'm gonna stop myself because it's totally off kilt, but it's a beautiful, beautiful display of excellence from this Cassie, and Ricotta finding a kill, but it does look like Vane's gonna find one of his own, sending off Wi-Fi, and 1,088, that's the number, and waits for Bitey to get home from work and says, hello, honey. I made dinner for you.
Oh, man. And when there is room for the friendly emoting to come
showboat,
through,
yeah,
it is certainly coming through. Sprays and emotes across both games, win or lose now for Splyce. They will grab this payload with their comeback mechanic. SK do go up 3-1 because of that defense. But at the moment, Splyce have come alive. Maybe it's just getting this execution down that their composition definitely begs of them. Ricotta definitely looks dialed in at the moment. He is kind of flowing.
Let me tell you what, I think this is a great, great exercise in teamwork. This Torvald, Vane, Ricotta, Cassie combo. You know, because you do have to work together. Vane has to be a little tunnel vision, but he's also got to support his teammates, but it feels like they're both putting in this effort. A lot of times it's this solo deal where everyone's doing their role, supports are really healing the front lines, damage dealers off to their own, but I like this. Splyce need to kind of build that camaraderie again and have it succeed. Together, as a band of brothers, that's how we've seen the MVs work against these Navi's Fanatics who just have these incredible drafts, incredible players who've been doing it since day one. That's how we see G2 have success. I think if Splyce want to have success in qualifiers, they gotta be a group, a unit. And I like these kind of things that mean that if we don't all succeed, none of us succeed.
And it's fun to see something other than like a flank in Torvald because, you know, bonus damage is bonus damage, health is health. It doesn't have to come on a flank. You know, Cassie can use it all the same. I mean, something like a Bomb King can certainly use it all the same. Anyone is happy to get that little boost coming through. At the moment, struggling to find that magical pick, especially into the SK ultimates. They're about to have all 5. Splyce close to all 5 as well. Minute left. This could be an explosive fight here, but SK are going to try and hold this as much as they can, and Splyce don't want to overspend and put themselves in a starved position in the 3-2 fight, or 3-3 fight next round.
Enlightenment might be a decent one to spend for Vocal. But again, with that Torvald bubble potentially up at any point in time, it's a scary ult to try and use. Unless Vane is off the battlefield. But he's playing very in the back line, and now you gotta hope that Ricotta doesn't spot out where Vocal is. A couple of headshots, gets rid of the bubble, doesn't do much damage to the total health pool.
A lot of spraying going on here.
A lot of spraying.
Who's hot, who's not? 10, 9, 8. And Splyce swept off.
He wants it.
Spray him. Dethroner, wholesome. Best DPS player in NA as well.
Definitely
wholesome.
My kind
no spray
of moment. You don't spray. Act like you've been there before. And
that sounds really funny slowed down.
It does. Play with the awareness that you are not where you want to be. Don't spray because you're beating, because 4 is beating 5 or 5 is beating 4. If you're happy with that, then spray. If you're content to ride a losing, you know, twit longer every time you play a game of Paladins, then spray. But if you want the championship,
away, my dude.
don't spray. Didn't work for Cybate. He's not even playing Paladins anymore.
Legend has it he's actually playing card games now.
Wow, getting ready for Artifacts?
Yep.
That game looks sick, though.
I haven't seen a single thing on it.
I watched about 30 minutes of footage on it today and learned how to play, so.
Neat.
Yeah. I always like new games. Check them out. That's what we do at Skillshot. All about knowing about these games, dude.
Normally it's me trying to convince everyone else, though.
True.
I'm always down for somebody to be like, play this game. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And now
I'm in it to win it. This Dragon Punch is in it to win it. Yeah. Payan comes in. Looking like Miley Cyrus, the absolute wrecking ball of a man, storms the team fight through Splyce. And what a victory it was. Now the zone's looking good. Already a 60% lead on the objective. Gotta love it.
And you can see it. He can see it right here. He knows that he just made a big play, and this could be SK taking this one, but a Hyper Beam results in anything? No, not quite yet. G-Bunny back on the point. Splyce, they've used it all.
They're just barking, though.
So,
They
yep.
didn't get anything with that.
So of SK, however, Nick, and that just means that base kits on base kits, except for the Enlightenment. So Invocal might be able to play a little riskier than usual, but now this is a problem.
get him.
6-man is on the board.
Go get him,
Pain
Jaden.
doesn't see it. There's a flank about to happen.
Go get him, Jaden.
Double kill
Go
for
get him, Jaden.
Smith, and he ain't Will Smith, son. He's his own person, he says. And he helps to clean things up as the Pain train rolls through Brightmarsh, and SK Gaming find themselves in the lead in this set.
One more to go, baby. Almost not winless. This is the day. If SK Gaming want to get a win this split, this is their matchup.
I haven't broken out my Cheez-Its yet.
If we go to game 5, crinkle them as loud as possible as you open them into your mic.
If we go to game 5, I'm eating Cheez-Its.
Okay.
But if we close it out, y'all did it.
It's a warning, you know.
It's a warning.
ASMR stream if it goes to game 5.
But you know what's great? That these two teams have to both work on what we're kind of joking about, which is closing out sets. They got to work on closing out games, closing out sets. They have the talent to make great plays, but it's the consistency with which those plays are made. A lot of people don't realize
Look
it.
at the slash lines for Splyce, dude.
I mean, I think Ricotta had something to do with the kills they were getting.
I mean, granted, I get it. It's part of that comp is like, you're going to kill everyone, and I'm gonna be a bubble boy, and, you know, it is what it is. He died a lot, he killed a lot, but, man, that's just wild to look at. A little front-loaded, that. A little top-heavy.
A little top-heavy, yeah. Might want to work some legs there, buddy. Definitely relying on the upper body strength there. Pan grabs a good kill, and now it's game 4, which could decide it all for SK Gaming. They would love a win. Wouldn't they, Nick, over Splyce? That would be big.
Yeah. You know, you don't want to go winless. I don't think no one's really gone winless since the, you know, the Splyce.
That early Splyce.
The early Splyce, they get their wins. You know, we threw them a little, you know, party for that first win. I think did Mouse go winless? No, VP may have went winless in like
VP might have last
one of those splits.
Might have been last split, to be honest. They were pretty horrible last split. And they made some changes, and thus now are a pretty interesting team.
Okay, so this is not a bad map for either squad. We're getting towards that later stage where maps should be less of a, you know, polarizing 1-4-0 here, 0-4 there.
Yeah.
I think I've seen SK do okay on this map. Splyce, I've seen them play on this map as well. It's going to come down to the draft. We've seen kind of big drastic changes. Remember that last game SK Gaming got almost the same draft that they won game 1 with, so I think they were just feeling very comfortable at that stage. Kinessa versus Drogos here. This will be an interesting matchup for sure.
And they grab the Fernando. So their choice of tank, their choice of damage. Splyce grabbed their choice of damage first, but the Drogos has been pretty unstoppable. They're going to get the Inara. And Drogos Fernando deal pretty well with that. Anti-heal both innately as well as the Dragon Punch. Cassie, though, we've seen Ricotta do some work with that, but it probably won't be Ricotta on that. It'll be Shadow.
Changing gears here for sure. Ricotta definitely good in his own right on the sniper. But the first pick, Kinessa. We'll have to see if Strix comes out, if Invocal really wants to play a sniper that bad.
Could see.
Willow's still open here as well.
You're right. Double Blaster would be interesting. Ruckus and then the Ying. So, Invocal can do a couple things. You can go for the Ying here. You can grab Talus, which is an interesting choice. Pretty good shred on the Inara and the Ruckus. But he loses out on the matchup with Kinessa except for in the basic fight. And they're going to go for the Leon, which I think works well in totality. It shuts down the life exchange Ying, a lot of the clones, and as well as the Inara, just natural sustain at the beginning of a game. And probably helps Barrick and Fernando sustain against what is a pretty tanky comp.
These drafts feel like, if you look at like a world championship game between like Na'Vi and Envy, where anything's open, they're going to draft what they need to draft to beat the other draft. These drafts feel a little bit more of like, we want to play what we're comfortable with here, right, to get this win. In this game in particular, it may not be the best. Leon, 10th pick on Ascension Peak, might not be a very commonality, you know, but going forward, I think these guys just want to win with what they can win with at the end of the day, not trying to sort of just monkey see, monkey do with what they see at the top and maybe focusing on what they're good at.
Now, only 2 games possibly left in the entirety of today and this week for Paladins. And It could either end here for SK if they're able to close it out with Bitey, Pain, Invocal, Dethroner, and Wi-Fi on the Damba, the Drogos, the Leon, the Fernando, and the Barrack. Or if G-Bunny on that Ruckus, which he's played very well, Vayne knows him some Inara. Aspect on the Ying, and then Shadow and Ricotta on the dual damage dealers of Kinessa and Cassie can answer back. It will go to a game 5.
He fights so damn hard for this balcony. This is kind of like, I don't know if there's another map like it where I just feel like once you get up there, it doesn't feel like super worth it to me. And we'll find the angle onto Invocal. And Ricotta saying, take that balcony.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Absolutely.
Have it, my dudes.
I've got the angles, and that's the issue with the way they approached it, right? There's really no sniper contesting it back, and there is no ability for SK to easily deal with Ricotta.
Dude, I just noticed something.
Yes?
When the turret cooldown is up, it just like appears on his back.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. The silhouette like literally changes for Barrack. That's crazy. Not gonna pretend I play a lot of Barrack.
Not gonna pretend.
Overtime.
Well, I would have thought you were a Barrack main as a result of that.
Well, I guess in that right, you would think that I would be seeing other Barracks all the time as I specifically hunt them down.
Yeah, but you know, we have to pay attention to these big things. We can't look at like all Damba's feathers on his head and be casting this game, you know?
When the gourd is up, the feathers will bloom. Sounds like a prophecy.
Leon's gun showing that little red dot on it. And then, of course, that red bar on the front of the gun thing. I don't have guns. What's that called?
There is a decent amount of that. Barrel?
Barrel. I mean, I could have known that. It's kind of slipping. 84% for SK now. They've retaken, and I think this is a
I'm not a gun guy. What's that thing you pull to make the gun go off?
Well, I know trigger. I know that for sure. But I think G-Bunny here may not know if Wi-Fi is a threat or not. Wi-Fi may not know it himself. Is he going to get out or not? Little mini game with the rocket boots. The Zay Mario Party. SK Gaming not going to grab this one. Splyce will get the victor and get the victory in
and the E.
round 1. And an E.
Victor and his E.
That's right. They go hand in hand usually. Unless you become the lone wolf, then you leave the E.
There might be a pun there, but
There might be.
Only Vox can answer that question. G-Bunny is kind of getting tossed around here on the left-hand side a little bit. He and Shadow will try to retreat down, but they get tracked down by a very fast Barrack, who appears to have been swift-spirited. If there's 5 feathers on the mask, that means it's Swift Spirit's 5.
Yeah. Now that would be cool.
Could you imagine having to plan all that stuff out for the models?
For the cards?
For the loadout cards?
Oh my god. It would literally be too much.
They would probably look terrible. All the little like accessory things they'd need to have.
Every skin would have to adjust for that. I mean, it would be... Hey guys, and here's our skin.
What a
our
terrible
one
idea.
skin for next year.
The tier 75.
The tier 75 skin. And now I think it's a beautiful Immortal decision. It just holds it, and you get a double kill. Unfortunately, you still lose Payin, and you're still probably going to lose a Throner here. Oh, man, so it was a really good tactical retreat from Splyce. I think it was a great play from SK Gaming, and now they do keep the Throner alive. You know, all credit to Bitey as well for allowing that gourd to go right down at his feet when he needed it, and to Throner for having the shield and the awareness to back up and out of trouble. So they do stabilize off of that, but now 40 seconds left and only 11% charged on that Fernando ult. And that might not be something they have for next round.
Might not.
30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds. That's all that's left here in this first round. And it's a slow charger. He's not getting a lot of poke damage out. Prior to this fight happening, the payload's kind of rolling up to that final choke point, the enemy base, and the gate that separates them from us. 10 seconds now on the clock here. Fernando working his way around, trying to keep people distracted, keep them slowed down here. Ricotta and Invocal dueling out at long range here, but one rifle's got a scope, the other just introduced the barrel to Barrack's face.
And it was a blind date, didn't know what to expect. Didn't go too well, immediately threw up a shield.
Dude.
And then pretended he had to go but she caught him outside at the ice cream parlor across the street. It was really embarrassing, but unfortunately, not all blind dates work out. That's why Tinder was invented. So it doesn't have to be blind anymore.
So that you could lie in your profile.
So that you could basically make it as blind as possible while fooling them into thinking that you weren't.
The Iron Maiden weapon.
Iron Madam. Get it right.
Iron Madame. With the White Walker.
I don't give a
body.
Iron Madame.
About what you think
About
about
what
my
you
skin
think
or
about.
cheeks.
That's technically
Points
not
spawned
saying
in
anything bad.
15 seconds.
Because it is pronounced.
No.
No. Well,
You're in the clear, man.
I'm in the clear.
I'm not going to write you up or report you to Dr. Todd Allen.
Thank
Harris.
God.
5.
We can see how the puns.
Doctor must punish
The
you.
puns get incredibly worse as they spend more time as Game 4 moves into Game 5.
Better get your Cheez-Its ready. It's a 2-0 lead.
It's a
in Game
2-0.
4.
I think the Cheez-Its are coming out.
Target locked. Wi-Fi in vain. Trying to pretend that they care about each other on the objective right now, but really, they know nothing's really going to happen. Wi-Fi gets put low, and Vayne moves in to actually confirm the kill. An incredibly low-caliber frontline fight happening in front of our eyes right now. Here comes Dragon Punch. Payan with the out-of-combat regen as he flies through. Ooh, just off the mark of that fire spit that would have confirmed a kill and a half. And honestly, that was really bad for SK because after that, Splyce come through and wipe them. One missed fire spit, one ability, one shot can define a team fight at this level.
And Splyce here with the dismount there, they've captured it. That's it, 3-0.
The payload. Stop the payload.
And I'm not even hungry. But I made a promise. Maybe I'll eat like one or two. Sprinkle the bag a little bit. So SK look
Go through the motions.
Yeah, go through the motions. They do not look like they are. I'm almost speechless here. But it's a really, really good performance from Splyce. You just got to say, what tilts it in the favor of these two teams trading such deadly blows with one another?
Maybe it is just the maps for these two, and
practice and
Splyce
time
they're doing enough different in every draft that it's like they're throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall. Some of it is sticking very clearly, I think, for them.
Right.
And some of it is not. Nothing about SK's draft is outright bad in my eyes. And that was that one fire spit that probably would have changed the way that fight outcame. But it just missed, and Splyce were able to capitalize on that opportunity.
Good rotations here from Shadow. I mean, he's been a really good Cassie. I like guys who can kind of almost main the blast role, but then take a Cassie early on and put him through the absolute paces. That to me is a really special thing, and if you can get really good at it, I think it's almost like a left-footed player in soccer or football. You just you don't have too many of them.
I think it's more like a left-handed pitcher, like in baseball.
I mean, it's truly very similar, although you're no, but I mean you are right. I mean they're both hot commodities. But what's interesting about
why is a left-footed soccer
because you can you can cross the ball with your left foot.
A different angle?
No, you don't have to. So if you're on your left side, you need a left midfielder or left back, and you can cross the ball with your left foot without having to turn it to your right foot.
So do you want to?
Otherwise, you have to cross with the outside of your right foot or cut it back and then cross.
So do like left-footed players always play left midfield?
No, not always. So the different style. The reason why I was going to say it's different is because there's no difference between a left foot. The only difference is your left-handed and you throw that way. But a left-footed player on the left side is not always a preference. Sometimes you want a midfielder to cut in on the right side with their left foot and be able to be on their strong foot as they cut into the field and can play with their midfielders and their forwards, but also take a shot, right? Left footers, if they're going down the left flank, cutting in on their right, not very dangerous because you're not expecting a huge shot from their right foot because their strong foot's their left. So a little different kind of concepts around it, but usually that flexibility to do that either way is really valuable and pretty rare.
Well, 2-for-1 is a pretty rare trade here for Shadow. So he tries to put this one away for Splyce here. Overtime has started, and Lightman's going to rip through to the back line, find the support. Everyone else is very low as well. Payan drops the hammer with a double fire spit. That claims the life of both low HP targets. that Invocal left him with. And the Kalinka dance
That was close.
begins. Yeah, it was.
Shadow just got back, and I mean, he kills Pain almost right away. Little things like that are making a difference, and little things like the missed one are also making a difference.
That's a long distance one. That's one of the longer ones that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I still remember my favorite fire spit ever
Bugsy.
was on Jaguar Falls.
Oh.
He thrust it up in the air.
Fire spits down,
Over
falls.
the bridge, ran out of juice, had to fall below, find the fire spit again, goes under the bridge with a rocket, and still gets it.
Yep.
I was like, whew, that was hot.
There's so many plays like that we've got somewhere, and I just want to look back at all of our like reactions to those plays, because there were some really, really fun ones.
Yeah.
We've got a few of them, but I mean, we'd have to go to like, I mean, that's so far. I don't even know how we'd find them.
What do you mean? It's easy with a Facebook bot to go back and just get what you need.
I mean, is it even on Facebook? Is that? I mean, that's the bigger question. And by the way, you got to look at some of our early PPL Facebook VODs. Those are pretty golden, man. We look like summer babes just heading out to the woods.
We gotta go watch like our first like Worlds cast
Yeah.
or like our first like Eevee's Winter Classic
Oh,
cast.
that's where we did that meme.
The saxophone.
The saxophone
meme.
meme, yep.
We were just out in that big room. There was nothing in that room.
Oh man, it's almost as big as a capture point on Ascension Peak.
Almost. I like that little angle. I don't know if the admins might have a problem with playing on those rocks up there, but 3-1. Got to do whatever you can to win at this stage here. Comeback mechanic for SK Gaming, but you wouldn't know it because it's an 87 to 54% lead in favor of Splyce, the team that's up 3-1, 96%. The front lines are just trying to get there for SK Gaming.
Man.
But the back line is zoned away. There's no support there. DeThroner finds one.
Big time.
Pain's going to come ripping in here, try and bring this one back.
Gotta get him. I think this is great plays here. Invocal and Payan, they bought their time and triple kill for Invocal. Jaden Smith wakes up SK. Not over yet, he says.
Escort the
The
payload.
Star of After Earth wouldn't go down without a fight.
Although
Haven't seen
that
that
box
movie.
office sales did for sure. They definitely went down without a fight. Will Smith's worst failure in all of his movie career. Hit him hard because it was the one he did with his son.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. I'm allowing Will Smith that one, to be honest.
Hey.
He wants to just go have a movie with his kid.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I could see why it pained him, because he wanted that one to be awesome and live on forever, but that's a movie you don't need to see twice.
It's kind of like if LeBron may play someday with his son.
Yeah, but then they suck so much.
Yeah, that's what I hope doesn't happen.
Yeah, that would be really, really not fun.
Because that's like a once in a, I don't know.
I don't know
that
how
would
that-
ever. Because LeBron at 18 coming in, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
you have to have a very long career, and your son has to be very good to be picked up right out of the gate. I don't know. Could be a cool thing.
LeBron's 33, right?
Yeah, and I think his oldest son.
So wait a
I
second,
think LeBron
man.
Jr. is like 15 or so.
So LeBron he was 15 when he had his son, right?
I'm not sure.
No,
No, I
because
don't
he'll be
think
8.
so.
He'll be 8. Well,
I
when
think he was like
he's
early,
14
I
right
think he
now.
was like early 20s.
Okay.
The butter stick wall gets the block too. That's definitely something worth commenting on.
Might have been
Ooh.
19.
Maybe.
I'm
Not
just trying to figure it out. 33 minus 14. I mean, he's in high school, so right? 7th, 8th grade. Either way, it's getting close. Maybe not. 19 to 21. Vayne here on a 4 streak. Now dropping down. SK Gaming trying to push. Hadn't found it yet, but Bitey keeping everyone nice and healthy. Good stun there. Bitey min-max, and you know it. Slither, gourd for himself. Gets the heal onto the Throner. SK have to break this choke somehow. Not able to do so yet. Beautiful skin the Throner's running. That's the Nightmare Fernando for 1.6. Don't you know it? With a
remaining.
LeBron Jr.'s 13. Got it. So that put him at 20.
9, 8, 7,
All right.
6, 5,
There it is.
Beautiful flank here by DeThroner as well. He
Whoa.
might have caught him. He
The
did.
hell?
He did. He transported right at that time. And Shadow, kind of unknowingly, maybe helps him a little bit. Bitey, is he on cue? So unfortunate there. Bitey actually not able to find the kill. I mean, on the heel, excuse me. And this looks like it's going to be a triple kill for Shadow in response. Doesn't care what Vocal has to say about it. It's his time to have a major hit in the Paladins box office.
Oh, is this it? Is this the butterstick block? No, it's going to be that.
Nice stuff.
The Inara triple. The last hit god.
Those autos really sound like they cut into you.
Yeah. They're like little spikes. I don't know. Little crucifixes.
Point spawning in 15
Yeah.
seconds.
Well, yeah.
That's a heavy aesthetic.
Yep, that's a heavy one. That certainly is. How much do you think that thing weighs?
5.
I don't know. I mean, as a proud wielder of Frostmourne, it is definitely going to be a heavy one. Nara's at least 7 feet tall, so that staff has got to be somewhere in the vicinity as well.
I mean, those things, I just don't, you know, the way they hold them with the forearm out, that always just impresses me.
She's choked up.
Yeah.
She's choked up on it, which is
Just the
good.
grip, just the thumb grip to just no
The
support.
overarm, yeah.
that's just.
That's not a muscle group you're hitting often.
No, not often. And Nara trains those at the gym. You can do some of the wrist curls, but man, I've never had enough.
She's that guy.
I've never had enough
Busting down
patience
on
to do
wrist
that,
curls.
dude. 2 hours and like an hour's on like wrist curls and stuff. I'm like, nah, man, not me. Get some chest and get out of here. Pan finds the Dragon Punch. Beautiful combustible, looks to try to find it. Oh, another one. Pain with a double kill. Splyce now falling apart. The Pain train has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Double kill on a double kill. Make it a quad run officially for SK Gaming's Dragon in the Sky.
There it is. Inara creeping up in this right-hand side tunnel as well. She's spotted out, but Vayne has cleared more than enough distance on his horse. He'll be able to just walk on home from this point on. Farming ult charge on the Sonara, though, putting at her about half HP. Stay down. Stay down, kid. Stay down. This Hexafire is dangerous business. You don't need to be playing around with the likes of that. Inara goes down yet again. And Payan is just gone uncontested.
Let's go,
2
baby.
fights in a row. SK
Wow.
Gaming grab yet another payload here, and they have the chance to end the set with a conversion here and now.
And that is a welcome party if I've ever seen one. Great play all around. You got to give credit to Bitey for keeping him healed up during that time. Got a little bit of focus. He took some risks too, but you never get the big reward if you never take any risks in life. And so I like the way that he's playing this, man. And now he's got the momentum. Now he's feeling good about it. Looks like a totally different Payan. This time SK Gaming have a chance to win.
And Wi-Fi just trying to
Vocal.
get back to the healing station. And Vocal takes up the reins. And this is SK Gaming succeeding as a team, right? And Vocal's getting triples, Payan's getting triples, Wi-Fi's dancing around with the enemy front. Everybody's doing their job at the same time here for SK Gaming. And that's why they're having such an easy time rolling through this push.
And now, oh no, Shadow just deletes Wi-Fi at this point. And there is no way for him to come back off of that one. A huge amount of damage there for Splyce. And Shadow helps to stabilize what was looking like an unrelenting 100-0 push from SK Gaming from top to bottom.
116 on the clock here. Shadow drops pretty low. Honestly, lower than he's probably comfortable with. One more shot. Wi-Fi will hit it. That's the pick, baby. Now if we can just mobilize here, SK Gaming have a real shot at putting this one away. There's not enough trading power unless Pan literally gets one-tapped Immortal just to bail him out.
Nice
SK Gaming is playing together right now. Barely makes it back into spawn. That could come back to haunt them.
Is SK Gaming gonna do it and grab the victory? They've been waiting so long for this one. Introducing Payan into Throner, and they introduce themselves to a win. The victory, the set, and I'm not eating my Cheez-Its.
No game 5. Dude, I think you actually made it in the trash can. Trash can back of the room, over this TV, over a camera, through light poles as well. I don't even know if you banked it. The bank
I'm available
is
for
open.
question anytime.
Cash money. LeBron and LeBron Jr. The Lake Show featuring Rain Day now too. As long as we use Cheez-It bags, snack size instead of basketballs.
The official
I'm calling
snack.
you.
The official snack of
the
SK
NBA.
Gaming. Okay, it's beautiful MVP vote time. Who do you think gets the W here. Obviously, SK Gaming grabbed one, and that's got to feel good heading into your last week of the PPL. Payin shows up big time. And the rest of SK, props to you guys for holding off. I thought that the Throner played really well on Ash earlier on, and I also thought that Wi-Fi was super consistent. Bitey's switch up to the support role has felt really nice. And I think it's opened up a lot for Invocal to continue being dominant and Payin to feel confident on a few games as that damage dealer.
A lot of damage from Wi-Fi as well. And when you're casting your votes, guys, think about the whole set, too. There was a lot of great moments from a lot of different people. A lot of flexibility from this SK roster. Great stuff. They finally get their win. They will not go winless this split. They will go into the prelims for HRX with a little bit of confidence.
You know what? And I think Splyce, again, I talked to Vayne, and his focus was on LAN. And it makes sense, you know, maybe if this was the Renegades, maybe this is last week, or and they were just thinking, well, if we get a win here, maybe even we're pushing third if we just win out the rest of the season. I think they know kind of they're where they are. They're going to have to win no matter what. It's about teamwork. And for what it's worth, I thought Splyce showed a good amount of that. Just turned out to be SK's day on Ascension Peak.
I mean, this is a big note that we've always talked about with SK Gaming is if they can line up their hot days all on the same day. And today, there was a lot of great moments across the board from Invocal, from Kinessa to Leon, as well as Payin. He got a lot of Drogos today, which was certainly good for him. And I don't know if that will continue to be the case, as if they start to pick up steam, people are very quick to just get rid of Drogos. It's a very easy, justifiable ban as well. So his flexibility later on is going to be important.
And yep, I figured your MVP is Payin, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the man who has made his debut here in the PPL. And boy, oh boy, that was a great way to capstone the first win for SK Gaming after joining the squad. It was a beautiful couple of double kills, triple kills that really set the tone for them to take over that last game.
You smell that?
I do, and it certainly smells
Something
like something.
Smells so good in here. And I think it's just a great week of the PPL to come to a close.
It smells like freedom.
It does.
American freedom. And, you know, Bitey would be happy with that smell radiating throughout the world as he takes that victory for him and his Borkers back at home. Team MV 6-0, G2 5-2. Renegades sitting pretty in the middle, but Splyce and SK now find themselves both with a win. It wrapped up an incredible Week 5, which set up some matches that could have been historic, but really were more clean-cut. Everyone focusing on LAN, focusing on what they've got to do, and that's why you should be there. HRX is coming up November 16th through the 18th. That is literally in about a month and a week or two. So get your tickets now. HighResExpo.com. I can't stress this enough. HighResExpo.com.
Look at that
just
kid in the
grab your
middle.
tickets.
Look at that kid.
You could be that kid in the middle.
Losing his mind right by the console Smite World Championship logo. To the left, to the right. Look at all those smiling faces.
Look at that.
Look at the poggers, just the natural poggers in their environment here. They're having a blast, and you could too. If you can continue the rave at the after party, HRX afterparty.eventbrite.com for only $50. It's the best way to spend the rest of that weekend.
Hang out with all the people who've been cosplaying that event, all the casters, all the fans, the viewers. Everyone who's purchased that ticket gets an exclusive in at an insanely fun place. Guys, gather around. Coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit as we break it all down in our post-game show.
Welcome everyone to the post-game gather round. My name is Warmiser, and this is the round table. We're going to be going over pretty much everything that happened today. Nick has completely left the table already.
Left the stage.
He got up and left, and I think he's trying to say that there was potentially a sweep. But before we get into the sets, there was something that happened that's relatively important because we saw it this morning.
Hey.
Actually, you know, this board kind of needs it.
Honestly, it does. I mean, I am actually sweeping efficiently right now. Evan might drop some cheesy crumbs. You just never know.
Let's put him to work, huh? Put him to work, huh, chat? Hey, Nick. Ha! Damn, he's efficient. Hire this man. You want a job as a Paladins caster? A wild Nick appears.
Well, this morning we had some PGS teams qualifying, and most notably, the team that was in the semifinals ended up losing to Na'Vi, which was Nocturnes Gaming at the time, now known as Free Agent Boys in Latin America. They are starting to fall apart. Not only did they not qualify for LAN, but they have also now lost Sadak, who was most notably one of their more aggressive frontline players, but a
Big
very
news.
solid player there.
You're actually talking about big news here.
Huge.
So Sadat announces,
Did he tweet it?
apparently,
He did
that, and let's read this tweet live. Because,
the twit longer.
okay.
Oh, was it a tweet?
I
was
don't know
a
if we can
twit
read
longer.
a twit longer in Spanish right now. But
Well, it's actually not in Spanish. I
My
think
future in Paladins. Hey, everyone. As you know, we won't be attending HRX this year. Personally, I think it's time for a change. I've been playing with the same roster for almost 2 years, and I have to say that all the time with them has a lot of mixed feelings, happiness, frustration, joy, etc. I don't regret all the time I invested in this team, but it's time for a change. As of now, I will be looking for a team. I welcome any offer as a tank player / coach. DMs are open. Yada, yada, yada. Lastly, I'd like to apologize for all of our fans who gave a poor performance, and I encourage you guys to watch the guys from Zaga Talent and give them a chance to prove themselves at HRX.
listen, I'm excited to see Zaga because they've been balling for a while.
they've been balling for a while.
RC Soldiers and those guys, they've been balling for a while. And
Not
in fact,
only that-
I think they might have actually made a land before you were even here, Gore, from Paladins. I feel like RC Soldier has been here before.
But they were also
But
able to beat free agent boys. They had Hecate today. It wasn't it's another, they don't even have their Vawar. This was you genuinely have 4 out of 5 of the people who were at the semifinals for Worlds,
Yeah.
and you're able to take them down. And when you're looking at the way that LAN has been going for them, honestly, this might be the kind of kick not only those players need, but exactly what Zaga need to be able to come in and make some upset performance that we've seen out of international teams.
Perhaps, man. It's crazy to finally have an upset or finally an end to one of those dynasties in the PGS, but I guess it had to come sooner or later. I'm excited to kind of meet these new guys and see if they can put up a fight like the old Nocturnes
And
gave us.
there's nothing like what they were able to accomplish. A PGS team going to the semifinals at Worlds. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. So that was fantastic, and they have to hold their heads up high for that result.
I'm excited to see what they're able to bring, but today also brought us some other news, but I guess some news that we kind of already knew. G2 and Envy pretty much solidified at the top. I think there's still some chances for some murky stuff to happen between the two of them, but I'm pretty sure Envy have solidified themselves pretty much as number 1.
I think so,
Especially
maps-wise.
considering what we've seen out of every other team. I don't think anyone's going to bring them down 3-0.
I don't think G2 can beat them.
Yeah, they were
And
ahead
I think they'd only be able to tie, and
Nah,
then maps that
yeah.
would never
Yeah.
be.
it's 15-7 on the maps today, and that was the last time G2 and Envy will play. So
Yep.
there's no way that Envy lose top spot at this point.
I mean, G2
That's awesome.
came out.
Yeah.
Envy obviously are very stoked about it. G2 came out, and Cuss, I think, was notably. Others were saying, we didn't perform as well. Cuss just came out and said that was an embarrassment compared to how we played on Wednesday against Renegades. He's
Yeah, they
he
looked
just called
insane,
himself,
dude.
And so
On
the
Wednesday.
fact that he's recognizing, all right, we didn't do what we wanted to do, but we're still number 2. So he's like, we got a month for HRX. We don't have
Yeah.
to worry about placements as much. But obviously, the team wants to put in some work.
I feel like playing in the placement event is a good thing, though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a lot of
Here's,
LAN
what, 5, 6
warm-up.
extra
That's
days
a
of
lot
LAN?
of you're seeing what everyone else is bringing, and
Would you
I don't know.
rather? So you're much less prize pool that's guaranteed because you're not in the top whatever that makes to land, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing. So financially, these guys are happy they're in the placement rounds. But 2, you do have that chance if you make it out on top. Nocturnes were real warm when they played Navi, and they had a chance to go to the finals and all that. They played all day, so did Fnatic. But if you lose it all, you're out, and you have nothing. So I think it's that trade-off that would you rather be sitting pretty in the finals or being like, well, yeah, I get this warm-up.
Yeah,
and maybe
I feel
going
like
home.
if it's kind of like Fnatic. I think the placement tournament's going to be such a good thing for Fnatic because there's no way that they don't make it out of that event. And it's really good that they're going to get all that practice,
Right.
especially those guys that have made roster changes. They need that run time. They need those reps in with those new guys to really get themselves ready for the big show.
You think G2 won't make it out?
I think G2 would make it out. I think Navi or G2 or Envy, I think any of the top 2 teams would make it out of that placement round easily. And I think it would be not a bad thing for them to play in it.
Well, it is one of those things that you can kind of infer. I mean, you have 4 spots already at HRX being taken up by the top 2 teams from NA, top 2 teams from EU. So you're fighting for not necessarily just being number 1 out of place, but you have a little bit of wiggle room. You just have to be in the top teams while you're there. So it's not as much pressure, but it's still a lot of pressure because it's a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, teams that are, I guess, starting to look like a threat. I mean, SK today kind of genuinely looked like a team, which is something in the past couple of weeks, they've looked okay. They've looked all right. They've been getting slowly better. Today, it actually looked like a unit.
Yeah. It was sexy. It really was. It was beautiful, beautiful Paladins.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that Payne was doing, some of the shots Wi-Fi was hitting. I mean, he was going toe-to-toe with some of these damage dealers. Like, beautiful, just clean-up shots. Super efficient on this barrack all day.
He did. He was super efficient on this barrack. You really can't take that away from him. He was playing the point, like, basically the whole time and pulling, like, top 3, top 4 in damage in almost every game that he played. He was right behind Payne and Invocal.
Dude, and honestly, if you watch basketball, Invocal, in my opinion, is having like a Russell Westbrook MVP type season. Like, I think that he has, even though they are not even close to making the playoffs, he has dominated in every single game as far as his own KDA and his performance. He has never really had a bad showing for me, despite people have. They would lose, and he'd go 30-5 and be like, where the heck was everyone else? So he's been pretty phenomenal for me.
That's actually one of the things I wrote down, and I didn't put every single champion that he played, because originally I just wrote Invocal Kinessa. It was just because his Kinessa was insane on Frog Isle. But then during that last game, even on the Leon, like everything he was playing, Invocal looked fantastic today. And I think that's part of the reason that we're seeing SK thrive the way they are, is because once you get everyone else, like he's sitting up here, everyone was sitting down here, as long as they can just kind of equalize a little bit, the entire team moves up.
Gotta give credit to Bitey, man. I mean, it's a big boy move that he made. I've never known Bitey to not flex. I mean, Bitey's been flexing his entire career in Paladins, and to make that decision for this team, I think has been really impressive to show the growth he has as a captain. And, you know, those are the things that make me feel confident in Bitey leading this team still. Even though they're going through these issues, that he's willing to, like, recognize that, you know what, here's what I need to do to be better for my team and open up stuff for these guys. And it paid off today. It finally paid off.
I think, yeah, his maturity, definitely probably a conversation in terms of, he used to have the attitude of, oh, no, you're doing it all wrong. Let me show you how to play this character that, you know, just came out. Even though I'm like the tank guy, it's like every time you'd see a Bomb King picked or you'd see a Xin picked, you'd be like, well, I've seen Bitey play this on stream for the past 3 weeks, but he's not going to be the one playing it. So it's like, it had that element up to it. Finally, it feels like he's stepped back slowly over time.
And we can't forget Invocal wasn't benched. He was not good for a while. Yeah. And then Bitey did the decision to bench him and to coach him and to be like, here's a grown man lesson. I need you to sit down and watch, you know, not play with us. And look at what Invocal is now. I mean, we got to give Bitey all the credit for that. And SK, any turn up is all part of his
master plan.
You could genuinely make a Disney movie out of that. Like, it's like just one of, like,
I mean, like a Disney princess.
You know, football movies like that, but it's the same kind of concept where it's just like, you have to sit down, you have to think, like, is this something you actually want? Because if it's not, get out now, because you're just wasting your time, my time, everyone's time.
Yeah.
And when you get that kind of conversation, specifically, like, especially as a player that gets benched after you've been known as, like, the hot young talent, then it's like, oh, like, this is real for us. So you actually get, I want to say, shut down and then brought back in.
Yeah.
Like you said, a maturing moment overall. One of the other champions, so Invocal playing really well, has actually flexed onto this one as well. And I wrote the importance of him for everyone everywhere, because as of right now, the PPL, the PGS, the PCL, it's Drogos. He is literally on top of everything. What makes him so important, and why is it that we still see some teams ignoring him?
What makes him so important, and why is it Fire Spit?
And you know what, that's the thing. Fire Spit is just so good, so guaranteed, it's so easy. This is one of the best champions that has the easiest way to just simply do things that are effective, and that has always been one of Drogo's strengths. You know,
no one can do that.
Yeah,
there's nothing. There's no. What's even a close second? Like a seedling around the corner. I mean, what can do that amount of damage around a line of sight? That is all in the offensive player's control. It is all on me to do that, and there's almost nothing that anyone else can really do about it. If I hit this skill shot, this timing thing, then I get my damage
instantly.
Yeah.
However, Dredge is probably the closest person I think that's coming into Paladins to contest that type of area burst control, but it's still not up in the air. It's got to be on the ground. I mean, Drogos is Drogos.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been sitting up number one. We actually ended up seeing, and that was a big discussion kind of going into this, was do G2 kind of like bluff it? And they go for the Androxus first pick in the one game, and Envy's like, cool, thanks. Like, they just grab Drogos like it's nothing.
One more thing on Drogos is Follow the Scent too. Like, he's got the anti-heal card on it. I was like, when I was playing Hurl Dredge, I'm like, I had anti-heal, this would be sick,
This
but
would be
I
so
don't.
good,
I can
right.
just do all this damage that gets healed up instantly, and I don't have any freaking anti-heal. Damn it, what do I do?
What do I do?
That was like how I felt about Dredge. It's like everything is on this fire spit. The anti-heal, the confirmable damage, the fact that it's just so unique is just nutty.
Yeah.
So, of today, and specifically for the last set, because Envy just looked really good. They look really dominating, which is the way they've been looking. But between SK and Splyce, was there anything that like caught your eye? Something that is like definitely either like really good for either of those teams? Because it feels like either Splyce has fallen off or SK has stepped up.
I think that Splyce have shifted their. I'm not going to say fallen off. That might be the result, but they've shifted their focus. I think Splyce don't have anything to gain from that. SK are still winless, so they need that win to just feel good at going into LAN. I think Splyce have just decided that LAN is more important and that they're going to do their best, but they need to just really focus on like things rather than results. Like, hey man, here's what we need to do strategy-wise or draft-wise versus like whether we lost or won. It's all L's for them to get the W.
They really feels that way because Splyce kept doing something different almost any game. Like it was like, this didn't work, change it. This worked, change it. Doesn't matter. This didn't work, change it. This worked, change it again.
Right.
Just like doing stuff. Whereas SK, they like, we won with this draft. Play it again. Doesn't matter where we are. We're playing it again.
Slightly
Everybody's
shift
comfortable.
this, yeah.
Yes, and it's like that's it. SK were playing for the win. Splyce were playing to just learn more about themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember the standings, I think it was that Splyce are at 1-5, SK's 1-6, something like that. Where it's just
Right.
like both of them now have one win.
One win.
Splyce's is against SK, SK's against Splyce. So I guess that is kind of poetic justice in a way. But when it comes down to it, a couple of these teams, I think G2 and Splyce, or G2 and SK have played their 7. So that means that we're going to see 2 sets from a couple of these teams next week. And is there anyone right now that you're still eyes on, or is it this pretty much all eyes on LAN? Nothing next week is going to be too insane.
Few eyes on the Renegades next week. I think big kind of bummer week for them where we thought they were going to give a little bit more of a contest to, I think it was G2 that they played earlier. But I just think that they've yet to wake up. I mean, Loki is the potential of a guy like Invocal, but he just has been, he went the opposite direction. He actually fell asleep this split, I feel like. And I think, ClickQ had an uncharacteristically lackluster performance for a guy who's like a franchise-type player for the Renegades. So that's actually who I'm keeping my eye on the most next week.
My eyes are mostly on Europe. I want to see NIP keep their foot on the gas despite being locked in. I want to see how far Fnatic will fall and do things get any uglier. They have a matchup. It's the perfect matchup, right? They've sort of just been going down like the laundry list. Now they get to play VP, and we'll see if VP can actually maybe take them to 5, if not beat them, because Mouse did it.
Well, hey, I think next week is going to be very interesting, but that's week 4. In a nutshell, everything's been wrapped up tight. A lot of these teams have come out to play and made a pretty astounding rise or fall, depending on which team you're looking at. But remember to tune in Monday morning at 10 a.m. on live.skillshot.com for Esports Weekly, where we'll go over this week more in depth, I think, with everything, as well as go over next week what we expect to see. Console will be on Monday, and then the regular schedule that always comes through. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Bon Voyage PGS this year. It was exciting to have you. Thank you for everyone who participated and all the teams there. It was great getting to see some of those guys again and again throughout the week, so really get to know them and not have this kind of randomization process to it. So congrats to the teams who qualified. It was a long road, but you made it.
Yeah, congrats to Zaga. Can't wait to see all the OG homies from the PGS, as well as for the Zaga boys. Come up and say hi. We want to get to know you guys. We're excited that you guys are here. Those guys from Free Agent Boys, they're good friends of us, but of course we're always happy to have those new faces come up, and you guys definitely earned it.
Yep.
So we look forward to seeing you.
So yeah, a lot of the LAN teams already decided things are starting to settle, but we still have at least one more week of the PPL. Remember, tune in Monday. But until next time, guys, enjoy your weekend and have a fun one.